Get your curls percolated. Oh, Miage. Get you some.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue and I am back for another T.I. and Tiny Friends and Family Hustle. Alright? So let's just talk about a few things. First of all, let's talk about King. I think King is the third youngest of T.I. and Tiny's children. And he's got a little girlfriend. He's got a little girlfriend that he is purchasing gifts for. He bought her 2 outfits. They've only been in school for 2 weeks. He just met her. He's in love, okay? And Tiny wants to know if he's having sexual relations. And he says he's done some things, but he's still a virgin. And I'm like, so that means you've been, finger fucking, hand jobs, maybe some oral, nothing too big. Good. Nothing that'll get anybody pregnant. Now stop with the oral if that's what you're doing, because we don't want y'all getting no STDs before you've actually had sex, because that's just embarrassing. King is very much like T.I. in the way he was talking that shit, talking about him and the girl are creating a bond and fielding that bond with trust. And I'm like, if you don't get the fuck out of here with the T.I. linguistics of it all, I'm just saying he sounds just like his pa, okay? And Tiny wants him to talk about this with his dad, because his dad is not going to like this, because T.I. does not like when his son's following his footsteps and be little womanizing fuckboys, okay? Not saying that that's what King is doing, but he doesn't want them engaging in adult situations. And I'm like, child, good luck. Good luck keeping that from happening with your little rich, famous sons, okay? Anyway, so T.I. and King and the little young baby, the little baby girl, meet up with Tip at a restaurant. And he, like I said, he don't want Lil King engaging in that adult activity. And King, like I said, brought the little girl 2 outfits, and T.I. is like, what? Why would you do that? Spending money on her. Then all she gonna be thinking about is the gift. What if she took that gift to go on a date with another boy and all of this type of shit? And King is like, look, all right, I had to shoot my shot. Sometimes you gotta take risks, daddy. I'm like, ain't this about a motherfucker trying to school his paw? And T.I. says, look, you cannot compare 18 years to 2 weeks, because Tiny was like, you buy gifts all the time. And I'm like, Tiny, if you don't shut the fuck, like, Tiny, I'm going to tell you what aggravates me about you. We always talking about T.I. and how egotistical and misogynistic he is. But I am tired of you and your I want to be my kid's friend's shit. All right? I'm not saying you full blown with it, but you supposed to have his back when it comes to this parenting shit. And when it was you and King by yourself, you had an issue with what he was doing. But now that T.I. is there, you want to, buck for King and act like ain't nothing wrong with him spending money on his little girlfriend and all of that type of shit. And T.I. says, well, look, can you just promise me you will not spend more than $100 on this girl? And he says, well, what if we go out to eat and it's $100? He said, well, 50 of it will have been on your food. And Tiny says, well, what if it's 150? And he says, well, then 75 of it will be his food. And she says, well, how you know how much he ordered? I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yo, he was in here laughing so hard at that shit. Because it's like, girl, why are you trying to fight him on every turn? He is telling this boy, right, do not be out here buying you need all these little gifts and shit for these little girls. They know exactly who you are, and sometimes they're gonna want to be with you just because of who you are, and you adding gifts on to that. So you're just making it worse for yourself without knowing if these girls really want to be with you. Now, King is very charismatic and a cute kid, and I totally think his little girlfriend wants to be with him for who he is, okay? Because they look like they was having a good time together. But let's not act like him being who he is does not affect her decision, okay? So then Tiny and King go on a double date with his little girlfriend and her mom. And it's awkward at first, but then they, get to know each other and start having a conversation about their kids. And the little girl's mom thinks that they're moving too fast. She saw those gifts and she had pause because she doesn't want them, focusing on relationships. They need to focus on being in high school right now. They're both freshmen. And that's what they need to be focusing on right now, not boyfriend and girlfriend stuff after only 2 weeks of being in high school. So then Tiny tells the mom that her and T.I. are going to Trinidad, going out of town, and to, just be on the lookout for the children trying to pull the wool over the eyes so that they can do something they ain't supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was like, y'all better be good mamas. So Zonique goes to Regine's little apartment, little cute place she got, little townhouse, very nice, clean and decorated. I was like, all right, boo, do it. And they just have a conversation about how Toya is not happy with the fact that Regine decided to quit Clark Atlanta so that she could focus on acting. And I think that she is missing out on not taking advantage of Clark Atlanta's theater program and their connections to Tyler Perry Studios and everything that that school could have offered her to give her a chance to learn her craft as much as she can before she goes out into the world as Lil Wayne's daughter. And even though she says in the confessional that she wants to make it for herself and she doesn't want to rely on her rich parents, I think that she's relying on the fact that people know who she is because of her rich parents for her to get a movie or audition or whatever she's trying to do. So her and Zonique go and have like the little acting coach come over to the house, and it's the other sister, you know, Zonique's other little sister, and they do a little scene. And Regine is not bad. Regine is actually good. Zonique is interested in acting as well, but I'm gonna need for her to, you know, be able to control her laughter first, all right? But Regine actually did, you know, get into character and show some type of emotion, but she's an emoter, okay? She can make the facial expressions, and she knows what emotion goes with what scenario as it pertains to girls and social media and you sleeping with my man and I slept with your man to get back at you. She knows all this ratchetry. So it's easy for her to be in that moment, but to do something else, to act of a different time era, to not act in the same way that you would, to be a character actor. And she thinks she's so natural and she has agent and she wants to do auditions and everything. And the acting coach tells her that that's cool and everything and you all right, but you need to learn your craft. You need to learn a specific style of acting. You need to really delve in if you want to do this seriously. You can't think that just because you Lil Wayne's daughter and you do a couple of, you know, auditions that people are going to be like, yeah, let's call Regine to come and do it. I mean, they sometimes might think that they don't want to deal with you if they think that you have, you know, the attitude of I'm Lil Wayne and Toya's daughter. So, you know, y'all better hire me or treat me how I want to be treated. I think people will be cautious because of how privileged she is. And it's like that with a lot of these young kids. That's why, y'all, I respect Dakota Johnson from you know, what is it? 50 Shades of Grey movies, because I think she purposefully, you know, kind of doesn't put it out there as much. Like she doesn't look like Melanie Griffith. Nobody knows that there's Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith's daughter like that. At least they didn't know originally. People had to say it. You know that's Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson's daughter. You know, it's crazy to me, but I think that she probably, you know, wants to be seen as her own actress. And I think that Regine needs to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to come up through the mud with this shit. All right? Don't try to get it just because people are going to recognize you. But like I said, more power to the young girl if that's what she wants to do. But I do think that she is missing out on what Clark Atlanta could have given her as far as being in plays and getting an opportunity to be on a live stage. Like, you talking about doing movies and television, but you haven't even thought about what it's like to do theater, what it's like to do live performances in front of people. Like, if you really want to do this, you need to be starting from the base, which is theater, as far as I'm concerned. That's how I feel about it. Not everybody has done this, but if she's never acted before and she's at a school, she's young, she has the money, she has the access, it will make sense for her to educate herself as much as possible before she go out there trying to audition, playing the same girl that everybody thinks that she already is. So Monica and Toya meet up and they go shopping at a little farmer's market so that they can talk about Toya having a little memorial thing at Mount Olive for her brothers. Everybody knows 2016, her brother Rudy and her brother Josh were both murdered down here in New Orleans. Y'all, that was terrible. It was a really terrible situation. I was working at the news station at the time, and I can just remember when it happened. I wasn't on the scene, but I can just remember hearing about it and being like, damn, both of them at one time? Like, that's a lot to deal with. And Toya's mom has had a drug addiction for a long time, and she was still on drugs during that time when the boys got shot in 2016. And now her mama is in Atlanta and she's doing well, and Toya wants her to stay on this same course, but she knows that if she goes back to New Orleans, it could possibly go downhill for her. It's like that down here, y'all. New Orleans is a place where people do drugs. So if you from here and you have an addiction and you got family members that go and live somewhere else, it is best for you to get the fuck out of New Orleans if you want to be sober. It's like that for a lot of people who are from down here and have drug issues. So I really hope that Toya's mama is able to stay out there in Atlanta and stay okay and everything, because later on, Toya met with her mom and they were talking about this memorial service and how hard it's been. And it made me sad because it looks like her mama not done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if she is, y'all, but the way she looked on camera when she mentioned the old friends and all of that type of stuff, it just kind of seemed like her mama might not be done. You know what I'm saying? Only being sober for a little while and the way she was moving and everything, it felt like, I don't know if the drug addiction is in her past all the way, but I pray that it is, because I know that it's got to be so hard for Toya. Toya always has to be the strong one. She always has to be the one that everybody depends on financially, emotionally, and then to have to worry about her mama relapsing and what that's going to look like and what that might mean in the long run. Y'all, I feel some bad for Toya. That was sad. Monica is having a birthday party for her little girl. And while they were talking, she mentioned how she needs to talk to her daddy because people really be out here taking her kindness for weakness. Thinking that because she's this kind person that she won't pop off on your ass. And when people make her feel some type of way, she completely cuts them out of her life. Now, they was chopping up this scene, so I don't know what this conversation was really hitting for. I was so confused about what Monica was talking about. I understood what she was saying, but I didn't know how we got there. So Monica throws this really huge carnival party for her little girl. She's known for going all out for the baby's birthday parties, and it's because she didn't have much of a childhood, so she wants her child to have that, and I totally understand that. My parents were the same way with me. Like, I remember my birthday parties. I had bomb birthday parties when I was a kid, okay? You better believe it. Our parties were called the bazaar, okay? When your party got a fucking name, understand how serious it is, okay? R.I.P. to my daddy and my parent. Me and my parent had the same birth date, May 26th, and our backyards were butted up right to each other. So every weekend of May 26th, we had a huge bazaar, huge party. Both sides cooked food. Everybody bought something, and you tore it down all damn day, okay? It was the party of the neighborhood, bitch. It was the party, okay? If you was in New Orleans politics, you know about it, you dig? Back in the Gap and all of that. It was just definitely something to see. So I understand what Monica was talking about with giving her children these types of elaborate parties so that they could enjoy their childhood and remember these moments. I totally get it, because I remember mine, and they are very much cherished. So LaToya pulls her to the side, and they mentioned how they took Madison, okay, their little girl, to Disney World because Monica was talking about doing a Disney cruise, and she wanted to talk to them and see if Madison would be able to come since she couldn't come to the party because she's with her mom. And LaToya says that when they took her on a 4-day trip to Disney World, she didn't even remember going. And she was like, well, I guess she don't need to go again. And I don't know what the relationship is like between LaToya and the little girl Madison, her stepdaughter, but the conversation that she and Monica had, Monica just gave her the advice to be cautious of how she, talks to the child, how she deals with the child, because she is the step parent, and you have to think about the child and the child's well-being and respect the parent's boundaries and all of that type of shit. So something tells me that shit ain't all so peachy keen between LaToya and her husband and the way he treats his daughter. They already talked about how he kind of still acts like it's just still him and his daughter, with the way he'll just go and be with her and leave LaToya pregnant ass at the hospital like, you'll be all right, bitch. I'll see you later. And he apologized for that, but I think that's still affecting the way Toya feels that he treats her as it pertains to blending their family and having it kind of separate the way it kind of is. You know what I'm saying? He goes and does things with his daughter. He gonna get his daughter, but then she has to kind of be in this box where she can't fully be involved. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what she might have been saying, but Monica was giving her good advice. And I love Monica with her kids. She's so so, nurturing and so calm and so loving. And it's just beautiful to see. It really, really is. So y'all, when Toya and her family came down to New Orleans to go to Mount Olive, like I said, my daddy is buried in that cemetery, y'all. So they went in there and, looked at their plots up there, and everybody just got emotional because they were so young. And when she says goodbye to her grandmother and other family members who were older when they passed away, it's so much easier. But everybody, it was like a crescendo. One person starts crying. Joshua, one of the brothers who died, his daughter, started to cry. Then Reginae started to cry. Then Toya started to cry. And it was just so sad. So very, very sad to watch them have to go back to the grave of two very young people who should have been here now. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt bad for her. I know that's so hard for the mama to deal with. And I imagine that staying sober right now is so hard for that mama. Because I can imagine, on top of feeling sad that your two sons are gone, the guilt of not being present because of her addiction, I'm sure weighs on her heavy, which is probably why she decided to get sober after everything happened, But my prayers go out to them, and I just hope that Toya's mom continues to be healthy and happy and stays her ass in Atlanta and don't come back down here to live. Because it just, it's not good down here. It's just not, especially not for her and people that have lives like her. So yeah, y'all. The episode was very good. It was very entertaining. Tiny is going on her trip to Trinidad, and she was getting ready for that, and that was all cute and everything, and everybody talking about how much they love T.I. and Tiny together. Child, please, whatever. I'm just glad we had a break from T.I. and his shenanigans. Okay, his shenanigans. Shout out to Jocelyn Hernandez. Okay, that bitch just turned 33, something like that. Happy birthday, Jocelyn. We miss you on Love and Hip Hop, girl. When that new reality show gonna pop? I'm waiting. Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I love you, bonbons, and I'll see y'all in the next video.